Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Citizen Sleeper. This is a new game to the channel, a role-playing game set in a dystopian capitalist future that takes a lot of hints from tabletop role-playing games. I don't know all that much about it, so we're going in almost completely blind. It was recommended, it has a lot of story, a lot of reading, it pretty much fits my perfect game style here, so let's click to start and jump into a new game. Okay, we can choose our character class. We can be an operator. An operator works with drones and high-precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Okay, so we're better with interfacing, so working with digital machines, but we're not very strong. And our will is rather weak. Be an extractor. Extractors work on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. So here we have higher endurance, lower intuition, but we only have two options. I think, for the sake of cerebral nature, I'm going to pick the operator. Let's be better with working with digital interfaces. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect, the delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but always present. It's at its worst when waking, when your self has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. You can either think of that body or forget that body. Let's think of the body. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day. The sting of blood welling from a fresh wound. The friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden, the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach, until you can't tell one from the other. The cold slips in, behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dulled nature of this new body, given your current circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now, there are thousands of them. Well, let's remember the plan. Why are we here? You mostly remember that it wasn't a good plan, but then your options were limited. But once you got the itch to get out, by any means possible, it was either that plan or something much worse. It was at least simple. Collapse the shaft, drift away into the chaos, slip into a cargo processing, seal yourself into containers, and just hope the freighter left before you were missed. Some were lost in the shaft. Others never found the meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers. But the freighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough. Enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reach any destination. Can we try to rest? Let's try to rest. But you are restless. It has been a long time since you left. Surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs, your right arm, You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel the weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your emulated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Time passes. The cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth. Not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sounds, too, everywhere. Screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its senses. Then light, white as the coal, softer and softer, until in a haze of dirty yellow, a figure appears. You are out. Okay, so it looks like we can click on Dragos, a pragmatic salvager. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You are slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately curving element of an improvised heater. You are surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. "So, Sleeper, you all thawed yet?" With almost. "Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have better perseverance in sub-zero vac. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside-outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky." Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes, the mark of a drone operator. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its irising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. What happened to the last sleeper? He ignores your question. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation, and I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now, and you are just software, a rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along. You remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. And as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You are no longer that person. You are an offshoot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead. At least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it. That body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. SNARP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well then no one can. You remember that too, or at least rumours of it, from the other sleepers. Planned obsolescence. A built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down, separate from your emulated mind. How long has it been? How long do you have? But for now, sleeper, you are one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away, towards the glassy dome of the yard. The Eye is the best place you could be right now. The Eye? The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. I haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Alright, you head on up there. You look like you need some rest. And with that, Dragos stalks back to the wrecks, his drones already converging on a rusting hulk. Plasma flashes, silhouetting his spindly fingers as he returns to work. Welcome to Erlin's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location and rest to end the cycle now. I assume it's this here, empty container, your home, for now. Let's end the cycle. You wake, curled up in the corner of the container. You begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable, but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? Impossible to know. After all this, what matters? I guess building a new life. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here. Maybe here, on the edge of everything, is a life for you to build. But before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container. The mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachet smells like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images of your restless sleep come back to you. A ring like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin. A constellation of bright, polygonal shapes, like angular suns, burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you finish drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Oh, okay, this is a big tutorial right here, isn't it? Condition, action dice, and energy. So, firstly, condition. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. So that's this top bar up here. Our action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you've used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. Okay, so if my condition gets too low, I lose dice. I need to use these dice to do things on the station. And energy, the third bar down here. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at a double rate per cycle. Okay, so just don't starve. Seems to be the what it's trying to tell me there. Okay, so all we can do is leave. What is this data button down here? We have items and data. The only items we have is cryo. Oh, it's cryptocurrency. Stored in air-walled sticks of memory known as chits. Oh, well, let's leave. Dragos is standing in the corridor when you close up the container. He is still wearing his headset, and in the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly irising. How are you feeling? Okay. The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much. It'll keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Yeah, sure. Alright then. He nods. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old halls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for cryo. Occasionally, we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most of what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper, you'll be used to the manual labour. And obviously, I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. Right, can you explain to me what these chits are? These. He pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Air-wall cryo, isolated from the market. It's what we use to trade out here. He stuffs them back into a pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way they are for me at the yard, he pauses. I need the help. Why? Things are a little tight, that's all. I owe a little cryo to a client here or there. He pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Alright, will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away. The drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Drago's yard, a decaying scrapyard. Ooh, tutorials on actions, huh? Actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. Actions reward you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. A positive outcome, the action goes better than expected. A neutral outcome, where it just succeeds, or a negative outcome, where the action fails. Each dice has a different percentage chance. 6 is 100%, 5 is 50-50, 3 and 4 is 25% positive chance, 50% neutral chance, and 25% negative chance, and 1 and 2 is 50% neutral, 50% negative. Actions display information about their type, risk level, and skill, and modifiers that apply to that action. Okay, so 1, the type it is, so this is a repeatable action. Either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. Risk, number 2, so this is risky. Or safe over here, I guess. Either safe, risky, or danger. So safe means no loss of condition, energy, or cryo. Risky means negative outcome, means cryo or energy loss. Danger is negative outcome, means condition loss, oh dear. And neutral can mean cryo or energy loss. 3 is the skill that's required, so endure or engineer. The skill that this action requires, either engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage. And a modifier, either -1, 0, +1, or +2. This is added to the action dice when slotted and improves its value. Some actions require a +1 to perform. So here we've actually got a -1, and here we have a 0. So anything we roll here will have a -1 roll chance. Okay, so we can either do hull dissection. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Or we can do manual salvage. It's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you are no stranger to hard labour. A debt called in. Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or two, things could get nasty. Right, let's use our higher value dice here on the risky option. 50% chance positive, 50% neutral. What happens if I do it over here? Oof, the -1 makes it a 4. Well, isn't that upsetting? Oh well, 50-50, let's see. Flip that coin. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragol's debt, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without any player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. So this is he has so many days to pay it off, and if we don't help him he's probably in trouble. I'm guessing this is till we get paid. We need to fill this up to full. I mean, if I do a 3 here... Oh, we got a terrible roll chance here. Good lord. I mean, manual salvage, what happens if we fail this? Let's have a look. We're probably going to fail. Oh, hello. Drives and navigation. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives, depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. You are now free to explore Erlin's Eye and make a life for yourself here. Try tracking a dive to help you survive. Look for food to keep your energy up and a way to recover condition. Fill clocks to progress stories and find new opportunities. Remember to end cycle at your home when you're out of dice. The mouse wheel or WNS to scroll along the station. Rotate the view with A and D. Good luck. Oh, we got a negative outcome, but we still got 5 cryo? I mean, that could be worse, right? Okay, so if I go back... We've unlocked Dock 4C. Can I scroll up? Oh, wow. Dock B2. The Rotunda. The Bright Market. The low-end gate. So they said the right one, right? Not that I see any drives. Over here. Repay Dragos. Dragos pulled you out of the salvage and set you up. Perhaps you can repay his kindness in time. Alright, we haven't got any complete. Oh, so drives are just like the mission objectives. You need to access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this escape attempt will come rapidly to an end. Find a doctor. I don't see where that's sending me here. I guess the Rotunda, maybe? Let's go check out the Rotunda. Steal dock plans? Heaven Age Security has to have plans. Stealing them will be the fastest way to get to know this place, and the most dangerous. Or we can explore the Rotunda. The Rotunda of the old docks is filled with passageways and concourses, leading to all kind of docking bays. What's a 3? Let's see if we can do this. we got plus Dock Watcher. Getting to know the Rotunda doesn't just mean new places to visit, it means keeping your eye on new arrivals too. I do wonder if we should do this again. Hey, +2, we got a positive outcome, so we've finished Dock Watcher. And Kita? A stranded mercenary? Hey you want to earn a chit? Ankita stands beside a huge pile of tied together hull plates. She stretches out her back, her shoulders bulging beneath her flight suit. Sure. You cross the docking concourse as she begins to split the plating into 2 bundles. What is it with this place? She asks, as she lashes the massive plates together. Everyone wants their cut. She straightens up to an imposing height, her armor plates creaking, and looks you up and down. Don't try anything, alright? She taps the butt of her sidearm. I don't want to have to put anyone else down today. Wouldn't think of it. Good. She pauses. Look, I'm not usually... Let's just say my temper's been a little short lately. Ankita hoists one bundle of plating onto her shoulder. Come on then, enough chat. You've got to earn that chit. You struggle to shoulder the plates, but you do eventually. Ankita gives you a look. Ship's this way, and she sets off down a gantry at impressive speed. As you catch up to her, she turns down a passage, pushing through a small crowd of stevedores. Why are you doing this yourself? You mean why aren't I hiring those good folk? She nods back at the stevedores. I've paid Heaven Edge enough. They are currently rinsing me for a mooring. I can't vacate unless I either fix the ambergris or sell it off as scrap. The ambergris? Is that your ship? You catch on fast. Gives you another of her looks. She rapidly turns another corner as you trail behind. She got cut up pretty bad on our last job, and I had to moor up here for a spell. But since then, it's only gotten worse. Someone got in and sliced the core from our ship mind, so she's gone dark. She shifts the panels on her shoulders. The upshot is that I'm short one ship mind, with a ton of repairs to do, and the rest of the crew signed off the moment they got wind I'd been stranded. Oh yeah, it's been a time. Is there anything I can do to help? I don't know, got a ship mine tucked away on that frame of yours? For a moment you aren't sure if she is serious. Annika swings the plates from her back, almost knocking you over in the process. This is me. She hauls the second bundle off your shoulder. You're the first person I've met here who might actually be considered helpful. She pauses, chewing her bottom lip. Look, you want to help? Come see me. I need a hand putting amber back together. And you don't seem like the type to try anything stupid. She passes the bundles of plates through the ambergris outer lock, and then turns back. Just don't go spreading all this around. Annika throws you a couple of chits. Consider it a bonus for not trying to griff me. Gives you a parting nod and ducks through the doorway. Alright, get out of here. She calls back, and the lock slams shut. Okay, so we unlocked a new drive. Fix the ambergris. Another thing to do, hey? A damaged cutter? Can we do anything at these docks? Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Helion system are rare, but those that do always return eventually. It's not that there's anything we can do there. Oh, the Overlook Bar, a grimy spacer haunt. Ah, we can... Let's get that off the screen. We can get a drink. You are unsure if your frame can metabolize alcohol, but this fungal drink, fermented along the Greenway, seems like a good test. We can become a regular if we buy so much. The Overlook isn't exactly a restaurant, meaning the only way you gain trust around here is with a stiff drink. Or we can buy rations. Thaler keeps some expired Solheim rations behind the bar for those weary spacers who ask why the Overlook doesn't serve food. It cost us 10 cryo to buy rations, but that is a place to get food, so that is a step in the right direction. The sealed dock. We can unlock the maglock. These old maglocks look like they each need an encrypted key to open. Why the heavy security for a decaying dock? Well, we don't have what we need for this. I'm just clicking on everything that's flashing to see if we can learn something. The low end gate, passage to the low end. After some spacers caused some trouble in low end, Yatagan have imposed a toll for entry. No one gets in without paying. 60 cryo, good lord, we don't have that. The Bright Market, a bustling open market. We can ask for directions. Why wander when there are hundreds of people that live and work within the Bright Market? All you need is the courage to approach them. We can explore the market. The smells, sounds and buzzing activity of the Bright Market makes it a dizzying place to wander, but an enticing one too. Okay. Well, for now we're out of... Oh wait, we can go to Dock B2, hang on. It takes several cycles to reach the Starward Belt and return, loaded with scrap from the old wrecks. So I'm assuming these are things that are going to cycle. Every so often something's going to come through and we're going to get options to buy things from them or make money from them. The ambergris? Can we do something here? Ambergris repairs? We can rewire drones. Ankita has a couple of glitched repair drones in storage. If you can rewire them, they can repair the ambergris for you. Or we can repair the holes ourselves. Ankita needs all the help she can get with the ambergris. Pockmarked with damage, the hull is a good place to start. We've got so many options of things we can do. I think we're going to try and help Dragos first, though. Because he helped us. Ooh, shipyard. What can we do here? Assist a shipbuilder? You don't have connections, but you do have skills. If you can get a shipbuilder to notice them, you might be in. We can haul materials. As a newcomer, you can only gain favour by grabbing a load of materials and asking the nearest yard hand where to take them. All of these are relatively risky. Not many safe ways to go. But let's go back to our empty container. And end the cycle. This time, you don't wake up. Instead, the ghost of the station, that shifting skeletal ring, surrounds you. For a moment, you are gone, absent from your own body, stretched out across a colourless void. Then the connections begin to establish themselves, threads tugging on the edge of your mind. These threads become vectors of exchange, and then extensions, as you feel your thoughts slipping away down them, dissolving into the millions of distributed nodes they connect to. You see the station. No, you feel the station, like a web of texture in a smooth, black liquid. Well, let's observe it. Even though you have no eyes, no sight, you see and feel the map of the station. No, not the map of the station, but the map of its connections. It is a looped cloud with spokes and spires that jut out into space. It is an ingrown thing full of obsolete loops and severed pathways. It is a system, a map, and a territory, all at once. You notice a tugging feeling, pulling at you insistently, as if it were a small child. Somehow it is pulling in two directions at once. You look down. All of a sudden, everything shuts off. You come back, trembling into this unfamiliar body, both yours and not yours, all at once. You find yourself standing in the container, eyes now open to the dark steel walls. You feel a change within you, a shift. You close your eyes for a second, and you feel it waiting there. The station splayed out across your mind, a storm of connective nodes waiting to be explored. And then it is gone. We only got 3 dice today, but we did get a 6, and we are starving, so we need to sort that out. But I think this is the perfect place for me to end the first episode of Citizen Sleeper. Please let me know what you think about this. Obviously, it's the first episode in a series. This is the one where you need to drop the likes. Please subscribe if you want to see more. There will be some more. I'm going to be batch recording this, so there'll be a few episodes. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It's reminding me an awful lot of Fallen London, funnily enough. But yes, please like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Thank you again to the members of the channel. It really does mean the world to me, and it helps me keep making these videos. But as always, I'll see you next time.